All right. Hey, happy Thursday, everyone. How's it going? We're back on live day number 3 of our series. We're talking about ways that you can make more money in your business while working less. Listen, I know some people probably saw that title and thought there is no way that this is for real because how can you make more when you work less? Well, listen, if you've been tracking this week, I gave some principles. There is no you send me this and you get that. No, we've been giving some principles on how to increase your income, even increase your impact, and create margin, create freedom. So listen, if you're joining in on different platforms, do me a favor and just drop in the comments where you're watching this from. Just give me a little hello. Let me know that you're watching this so that I can just shout you out. All right, all right, just gonna get ready to get started. Got a little email here, a text from my daughter. I just wanted to tell her I'm on a call. So, all right, listen, Claretta, good. Hello, KC, Kansas City. All right, anybody else on? Let me know that you're on. But I'm gonna get into it soon. We're gonna share today, talking about 3 ways to make more while working less in your business. 3 ways to make more while working less. By the way, maybe you've heard this saying before, time is money. Maybe you've heard that saying. Anybody can say in the comments whether you're watching this on replay or live, you've heard that time is money. I actually think that statement is wrong. That's not a true statement because you can lose money and gain it back. Like you can recover. I had a friend share recently that he almost went bankrupt, lost his business, but he recovered and he's doing better than he was doing then. Here's the challenge. Time does not work that way. You don't recover time that you lost. So time is way more valuable than money. So when we talk about business, you don't just want to be in business making money. You want to make money and still free up your time for the things that you really want to do. And so for those of us who are in business, you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're some kind of service provider, you're taking your knowledge, your expertise, and you're serving others. You want to find ways to reclaim your time. As Maxine Waters said, you want to reclaim your time. And for those who are looking to get started, you want to make sure you're doing it the right way. Why go through the long way when there's a simpler way to do it by applying these principles that we're talking about today? So we talked about on day 1 going from doing to teaching. We said if you are a doer, the challenge is there's only one you. So we use Marie Kondo as the example. There's only one Marie Kondo doing home organizing. But when she started teaching what to do, her audience increased. She made all these other Marie Kondos out here, and it increased her income. And I'm sure she's reclaimed her time because she's not spending as much time doing the thing. She's now teaching it. All right. And then yesterday we made the shift and we talked about step number 2 is going from lowest to the best, going from the lowest to the best. We see a lot of us, we compete based on price. And if we're competing on price, whether we're doing a service or we're giving up our time, the challenge is if you're competing on price, you got to be the lowest so that people will use your service. You got to be the lowest so that when they compare prices, they pick you instead of the other person who does the work that you do. We're saying instead of you being the lowest, figure out a way to find an audience that you can be the best for. Then you could increase your price because you're no longer offering it based on the time it takes you. You're not doing it based on comparing to other people who do something similar. No, you are the best for that particular niche market. So they can't, the issue is no longer price as the main determinant. It's if I want this transformation, she is the person that will get me this transformation. All right. So today we're going to make a third shift. And the third shift today is going from one to many. It's going from one to many. And I'm going to break that down and share with you a little bit. Now, if you're on here, do me a favor, just type something in the comments. Let me know that you can actually hear me, that this microphone is on, and that you're tracking what we're talking about today. All right, we're talking about 3 ways, 3 steps to go from working hard, not making as much as you want, to making more while working less. So just let me know in the comments if you're tracking. Today, we're talking about going from one to many. So for many of us, you have your expertise, and maybe you are using your expertise already to help people. So maybe you're coaching, you're working with people, you're doing work for people, and you're doing it on a one-to-one basis. What's up, April? What's going on? Donovan, my guy, how you doing? How you doing? So maybe you are working on a one-to-one basis, right? So you are the person who you're coaching, this one individual. You're working with one person, helping them with their product. You're working with this one couple and helping them with their relationship, right? And you can help one person. But the drawback with that model, right? Even though I applaud you for using your expertise and helping people, the drawback with that model is that it takes your time. And as we started off talking about in the beginning, time is more valuable than money. So it's taking your time, right? And then as we talked about on Monday, there's only one you. By the way, y'all can share this if there's somebody you know who needs this. Go ahead and share this to your page. But there's only one you. So you can only be working with that one person at one time. You can only be working with that one couple, that one man, that one company at one time. Talking with someone last week, a consultant, and she's doing great work. She is achieving results for her clients. April says we were having the same conversation recently. All right. So she's getting great results for them. But here is her drawback. She's like, I can only work with one company at a time in my consulting work. I can only do it one at a time. Now, the challenge is one her. And there's so many other companies who need what she has. Similarly for you, right? There's so many other people with that particular challenge. Couples, men, whatever, right? Businesses. There's so many other people who need what you have, but because you're working on a one-to-one basis, you're limited in being able to reach as many as you possibly could. If you're only doing one-to-one, every time you meet with one person, that's just a big chunk of your time, right? You know, if you're working with one client at a time, it's just a big chunk of your time. So the solution to this that we're talking about today, to make more while working less, is to do work in a group. So go from one-to-one to one to many. Go to one to many. Now, some people might say, as you're listening to this, people want individual attention, right? That's what they want. They want me. They want me to answer their questions. They want me to work this thing out. They want me to do whatever it is, right? So maybe I'm understanding I'm going to teach, but I want to do it one-on-one because they want individualized attention. They don't want to hear everybody else's stuff. They want their stuff. And I want to just talk about that because I understand the objection. In fact, it's one I've wrestled with me making a shift in my own business, me making a shift from working one-on-one, helping people start and launch your businesses, to now saying, I'm going to reclaim my time and work in a one-to-many manner, right? Because I realize I'm limited. So I got to practice what I'm preaching. And I had the same objections. People want me, and there's some specialized stuff, and they want the feedback from me. And maybe I'm thinking to myself, there's no way I could do a group. Well, here's the thing. I want to just share with you, there's some advantages for people. Doriel, awesome. Good to have you on today. There's some advantages for people with you doing a one-to-many offering. They may not see it right away. Maybe you don't even see it, but I want to share with you, here are some advantages for you operating from one-to-one going to one-to-many. All right, so here's the first one. One is they get feedback from others besides you. All right, so listen, I know you are the guru. You are the expert, right? And I know none of you are really like positioning yourself, you're not, but you have some level of expertise in this thing, right? relationships, finances, health, whatever the field is for you. You have the expertise. You have some expertise that people want to access that expertise. The challenge is you are the only person that they're getting feedback from if you're working one to one. But once you create a one to many and you create some sort of group offering, you are allowing them a chance to get feedback from other people who, even though they don't have the training, they don't have all of the stuff that you have, but they still have good common sense. They still understand some of the things. They still might even be able to relate to them sometimes better than you because they're going through it at the same time. And so, in a group offering, you're giving them a chance to get feedback, not just from one person, but from a lot of other people. Because here's one of the things that we always look for in anything that we're trying to get someone's expertise. We want feedback. Can you tell me how this looks? Right? Listen, feedback is one of those things that that we underrate. Someone giving you feedback, honest feedback, is a gift, right? And it's something you should pay for. But imagine in a group, you don't only have the coach, you the coach giving them feedback, you the consultant giving them feedback, you the counselor giving them feedback. You have other people who are invested because they're there for the same reason, giving them valuable feedback. So there's a benefit to them that makes what they're doing even better. Secondly, here's a benefit, right? Now we talk about people may say, I don't want this. Well, they may not know that the second benefit is there are questions that they would not know to ask that they would have the access to hearing the answers because they're in a group. Now, you already know that there's some questions that you don't even think about asking, right? Maybe you remember this from school or you whatever context you were in, that you were sitting listening to something and you had a particular question you were going to ask. But then you listened to someone else's question and you went, "Oh, I like your question better. That's what I really want to understand." Well, that's what happens in a one to many setup, that because you're in a one to many setup, you don't have to be the one to think about all the good questions. There are other people who are a part of this that now can say, here's a question I have, and you benefit from the answer that's received for their question. All right. So that's the second benefit. If you create a one to many option, you allow people to have the access to feedback from others and to hear the answers that other people have. And lastly, number three, here's another benefit of operating in a one to many setup, right? So you're working with couples, you're working with men, you're working with families, you're working with people with a particular health challenge, you're working with businesses. The last benefit of creating a one to many model that's better than even one to one is encouragement. They get encouragement from someone else who is doing the same thing that they're doing. You know, one of the most challenging things in any pursuit is the feeling that I'm the only one struggling with this, right? I'm going to raise my hand right now, that I've had that issue at times, right? Um, Thinking, okay, I'm trying to figure this thing out. I'm in a program. We're working on this issue maybe I'm a parent, right? So let me use that example. I'm a parent and I want parenting coaching, and I go to a parenting coach and I feel to myself, I'm the only parent who struggles with not being present, right? Like I don't know how to do it. My kids are talking and I'm feeling like it's Charlie Brown, womp womp, like that's my struggle. Well, if I'm in a group setting, I know sometimes people feel like, well, folks won't share. Well, if someone else shares and they have a similar struggle, I realize I'm not alone. But also there's an environment that you can create where people are encouraging each other in their process. They're encouraging each other through a struggle, they're encouraging each other through successes. There is a mutual sharing that's going on, so that what's happening now is you're helping people to experience success because they're not doing it alone. They're not just accountable to you, they're accountable to the rest of the group. And that's powerful, because it's one thing to let you down if you're working one to one. But imagine all the other people who are doing the same thing, that are saying, let's make this step, let's do this, let's put into practice what we're learning. Well, I have to not just let you, the person, down, I have to let the group down, and that's harder. So you're helping them with encouragement and affirmation. And accountability. I'm gonna pause real quick. Y'all talk to me. Let me figure out if there are any questions you have so far as we're talking about the third way for you in your business to do less, to work less, but make more. Well, pause. Any questions? Any questions? I'm coming to the end of this one, and I got something to share with you. Because maybe your question is how. All right, that sounds good. Who wouldn't want to, instead of having 20 clients on your calendar for the week, each spending an hour, why you go down to one group meeting a week? Who wouldn't want that? Where you're spending 1 hour with them a week, and you could have all 20 meeting with you at the same time, maybe for an hour and a half. Well, if you have all 20 in an hour and a half instead of 20 hours split up across the week, you just won 18 and a half hours back of your time. I mean, who wouldn't want that? If instead of you working with this company and spending all week working with them, you have some sort of cohort and you're working with a group of companies and you're teaching them on the same topic. Vincent Wilson asked a great question. Would you charge them the same in a group versus one-to-one? That's an amazing question. And I'll start off by saying this. It depends, right? As I mentioned earlier, there's some benefits to group as opposed to one-to-one. There's some benefits. So sometimes we think, you know what, I'm charging this price. And so if I'm going to go to group, I'm going to go way down. And sometimes I say to you, start your floor for where you're going to start with your group can be what you were charging individually because people were paying it. And there are other benefits they'll receive from the group that they weren't receiving individually. But once you do that, once you set up your group offering, your individual prices go up. Once you have a group offering, you charge more for one-on-one if you decide to keep doing one-on-one, because what you've done is created an option, right? So people may say, oh, what's your price for me to talk to you to get a package for you to work with me for the next whatever? Well, maybe before, I'm going to throw out some round numbers, you were charging $500. Well, you can do a group offering and charge that same $500 and say now my individual is $2,000. Someone may balk and say, well, $2,000, that's a lot. Well, I do have another option. It's $500 and you work with me in a group. See how that works? Once you have an option of the group, your individual goes up. Because what you're doing now, they're not just taking the same time, it's the opportunity cost of you being able to be working with a group at the same time you were working with them one-on-one. Vincent, I hope I answered your question. Anybody else got a question? A great question there. So my question that I'm sure some of you might have that I want to answer is how to do this, right? So I know how to do one-on-one, right? One of my clients, they work with couples and they were like, we know how to do one-on-one. How do we do something for a group? Because there's some target groups, people like privacy, like counseling for couples, coaching for couples is a private thing. People like privacy, like they don't want to share. Well, I'll tell you this. So here are a few things I'll share with you on how to move from one-to-one to one-to-many. The first is this: determine the problem that you want to solve that everyone has in common. Determine the problem that you are going to solve with your expertise that everyone has in common. So yes, you may be a consultant and you consult people in their business finances, right? And so that's cool if you're working one-on-one because you can tailor it every time. You're tailoring. This person has this challenge. That person has this challenge. But once you're doing a group, now you have to become much more like, okay, this is the area. So people who are in business and their problem is not knowing how to avoid paying a lot of taxes, right? That's a specific problem that they all have in common. And so now you can bring people together around the common problem, right? Your expertise, you now find a problem that you can solve that people have in common. Second is you determine the outcome that they all are looking for. So what's the thing that they want at the end? There's the problem, but there's an outcome they want at the end. Maybe they want to reduce their taxes that they pay by 50%. Maybe they don't want to pay any at all, right? Maybe there's something, right? Parents, but it's parents of kids with a particular issue who are teenagers, and there's an outcome. They want to have healthy, mature kids who go off to college. Maybe it's the last year of high school, and you're working with them, and they want their kids to be ready to launch out as adults. That's the payoff. So that's what you need to do. Determine that problem. What's the outcome they're looking for? And then you create what I call tools for transformation. What are the tools that they need in your offer, in your what you're putting together that will allow them to experience transformation? Now, I think sometimes we put too much stake into the tools. Like, I need to do so many of this, so many of that. People really just want to know, can you get me from where I am to where I want to go? But there's also some merit to figuring out what will we need to do to get them there. So do you need to have number of group calls so that they have access to answer questions? Then do that. Do they need recorded materials so that they can go over things and watch it and learn on their own? Do they need like handouts, worksheets, templates, things that will save them time that they don't have to create anymore? What are the tools for transformation that they need? See, once you put those in place, you're able to now work with a group, because you're taking what you have that you are working one-to-one. You're going from doing to teaching, but you're not just going from doing to teaching. You're not teaching one-to-one, you're teaching one-to-many. And that's when you can really start freeing up your time while increasing your income. Think about the scalability, right? Like 1 hour, someone had you. If you can get 10 people in that same hour, if you can get 20 people in that same hour, listen, let's start thinking big. If you can get 100, 1,000 people in that same hour, you have really like taken your income to the next level. You freed up your time. And what you do with that free time, you sharpen your tools. So you're even better for them in that hour than you were giving hours individually. Listen, I want to work with you to help you take all these things that we talked about here and put your offer together, your signature group offer, something that you do that allows people to know you for what you know. You become known for what you know. You become the man who teaches people to do this. You become the woman who teaches people to do this. You become the couple who helps people to do this by creating a signature group offer. And so as I share with you, we're starting a challenge on January the 31st. I almost said the wrong date. January the 31st. Here's the information right here. Let me take down that banner. January the 31st. It's called the Create Your Offer Challenge. And it's a challenge to you, and it's a challenge from you to me if you sign up for this challenge, because I'm committing, if you sign up for 3 days, if you sign up especially as a VIP, we're going to work together to give you the best training and the coaching that you need in order to develop and come out with an offer. So just like we talked about working in a one-to-many manner, you're able to work one-to-many by taking your knowledge and expertise and packaging it as something, giving it a name, finding out who needs it, putting together those things we call the tools of transformation, and then having something after 3 days that you can take to people and say, I can help this group of people to achieve this outcome and overcome this problem. Listen, this is the same coaching that I've worked with my clients to help them create some of the programs that you might have seen on different things. You may have actually benefited from some of the offers that my clients have put out there. And these are offers that some of my clients, as they've put them out there, have increased income, gone into the 6 figures without having to kill themselves with the time working one-on-one with people. So tomorrow is when you can register, right? Tomorrow is when you can register, but I need you to pay attention to this. We've created a wait list, and you can get on the wait list by going to createyourofferchallenge.com. If you go to the createyourofferchallenge.com, you can get on the wait list. Now, why should I join the wait list? Here's why. Because the challenge, not a free challenge, it's a paid challenge. And I need you to pay, because when you pay attention. You need yourself to pay, because when you pay attention. But for the first 20 people who register, it's 50% off on both the regular and the VIP. It's 50% off, right? Actually, it's over 50% off if you're into math. So the first 20. Now, how do I get access to be one of the first 20? Well, get on the wait list. It's free. And on the wait list, you get an email, you get a text letting you know it's ready. You get it before anyone else gets it so that you can sign up to get this challenge. I'm telling you, this challenge, I am so excited. I've been working on this for a while. It's taking the things I've worked with people one-on-one and in a group, and it's saying now you can have access to that. 3 days, you got to give 2 hours in the evening for 3 days to work on something that now has the potential to increase your income if you're in business already and help you to get started if you're not and do it the right way. I mean, you have expertise. People are asking you for help. You're the go-to person. You're doing great work. And at a certain point, you're saying, you know what? I got to do this better or I got to actually get started. Well, now is the time. If you're waiting for a sign, here's your sign. Sign up for the wait list. www.createyourofferchallenge.com. I'm going to type it in the comments. www.createyourofferchallenge.com. You click on that link, it's going to show up on Facebook or on YouTube. If you click on that link, you can get on the waiting list, get notified, hey, it's ready before everyone else does, and you can have a chance to be a part of this challenge. Listen, in the challenge, we're going to talk about figuring out what you have, who needs it, packaging it, putting a nice way of saying it so that when you put it out for your audience, they go, yep, that's me. I need that. Where can I sign up? And then you work with them. And this is not just you taking their money, but you're helping them experience transformation in a group so that they are better because of it. They're glad that they paid you, and you can reclaim your time. So listen, if you're here, if this is what you need, make sure you go ahead and sign up. I'm going to throw the link up. I'm actually going to throw the flyer up one more time. January 31st, February the 2nd, 6 p.m. Eastern every day for 1 hour if you're in the regular. But that's just you getting training. But if you really want to do this, you want to get VIP because you get coaching for the second hour. And let me tell you, the coaching you're going to get is going to allow you, I mean, it's going to be much more than you're paying for. So even if you miss the early bird and you miss one of those first 20 spots and you get in and it's $197, you're going to be like, oh, I cannot believe I'm getting all of this for $197. So enough about me saying this. You know what to do. Go to www.createyourofferchallenge.com. I'm going to stop sharing that and see, are there any more questions? I'll make sure there are no more questions that I'm missing before I end today. I'm glad y'all have been rocking with me all week. Some of you have been here every day sharing this. If you didn't share it yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and share it to your page. Share it with someone else. But thank you for being on for these 3 days. And I look forward to those of you who sign up for the challenge, to seeing you and working with you. Because here's what my passion is, right? I believe you have more knowledge and expertise than you give yourself credit for. I just believe that. I believe that you have more going for you than you're giving yourself credit for. And I actually believe there are people out there who are looking for what you have. I mean, come on, let's talk. Marie Kondo had the audacity to take her skills in home organizing and turn it into empire simply by believing in her knowledge and her expertise. And I want to help you do the same. Believe in your knowledge and your expertise and turn it into something that you can take out there into the world. So there's the link one more time. Sign up for the wait list tomorrow. If you're on the wait list, don't diddle daddle now. Don't play around because the wait list is filling up. You want when that message comes, you're ready, you sign up. And even if you miss the early bird, this is going to be worth it. All right. Have a happy rest of your Thursday. It's 1:30. Some of you took a little lunch break to be on. I want to respect your time. Y'all take care. Have a good rest of your day.